Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Amanda and today I'm going to play with Mixed Media Mayhem, and the recipe is a cut file, distress, and blending. So I did do a little bit of prep work off screen. So this is from Fancy Pants, this paper. It's called Jack-o'-lantern. It's from 2011. I actually put it in my counterfeit kit for this month because that yellow is a good match to one of the yellows. And then these are the pictures that I am scrapbooking today. It's going to be from my youngest page, but there's those ones of both of them. So, and this was for her grade 5. And so the first two pictures are her when she went to school, and the one where she's standing with her sister and went really crazy on the fake blood is when she went around town for trick-or-treating. So this is the only cut file I had, was this spooky one, and I'm not allowed to lift anything yet, so that's one I used. And then I'm going to distress photos. So some of them I've already done this too, but I'm at the edge of my table with my sanding block, and so my mat that you're seeing here is really quite hard and sturdy. So just line it up with the edge and use my sanding block, and I'm literally just going to distress the edges of the photos. It gives a nice little white distressed look around the pictures, and I thought it would work really well for this today. So there we go. That one had a little bit left there that I didn't want it hanging out there for. And then I'm going to put these ones on this flip floppy thing. And so my photos are 4 by 5. And so my piece of paper I cut to 11 by 4.5. And so that gives a 1/4 inch on all ends when you score it in half. And so that's an easy way to do those. And then I'm just going to back these both in black as well. This one picture where there's a lot of white space, I'm going to slide off, but I am going to pop in front or pop ahead of this and not make you watch all of this, I do believe. So I'm just measuring so I get that 1/4 inch around, and yep, there we go. And I've already distressed that one edge and cut that one off just a little bit for that smaller picture. And so this is what I'm kind of thinking with a spooky underneath. I do want to be able to open up that flip, obviously. So I have to be really careful about where I put the cut file, but it's all good. And then they are going to overlap, but that's okay. I kind of like it. Well, not kind of. I do like this page today, so. And then that's going to go up a bit, and so the spooky's going to go underneath. I decided to back in black too because it kind of fits with that cut file, and so I just thought it would work well. And then all these letters are already up on Dimension. I did that off screen before I started recording, just because that can take some time, and some of my videos have been a little long lately, so I'm trying to make this one a bit shorter for you guys. So just trying to figure out where I can have that one photo flip so it doesn't interfere. This is going to be enough on this white to do my blending. So I have my cut file, I have my distress, and now I'm going to do some blending. When I do the blending, I'm also going to have some distressing happening because this is watercolor paper, mixed media paper. I think it's mixed media paper, but with I'm using my Dina Wakley media scribble sticks, and it does pull some of the paper up a little bit and gives a little bit of a texture. And this one was not coming, was not coming for color. Well, words. So I'm just literally scribbling on one side, and then I pulled the blue from my oldest daughter, who is dressed up as Howl from Howl's Moving Castle, and then the red is from my youngest, the roses and the blood. So this does not dry as brightly red as I wanted it to, but it's more of a pinky color, but that's okay. So I'm going to add some more. I'm going to dry, I'm going to add some more. But I'm doing the overlapping in the middle so that it does actually blend a little bit. So you do get a spot where it's a little bit purple, and that's kind of what I wanted anyway. So, and that was my blending part. So looking at where I would want to stick this, and I definitely decide that this is not enough color. So I'm going to pull out my other set of scribble sticks. These ones are a little bit darker and a little bit bolder. So I'm going to use the ruby out of this one in the navy. So this is the, I don't know if this is called navy, but it's navy. You can see where my paper's still a bit wet because it comes out darker. So I put down some color before adding water this time. And I'm going to use the ruby out of this one, and was just double checking to see if this was the darker of the two reds, and it definitely is. So, and then I'm going to add some water again. And this gives a better blend, and it looks quite nice and red on the screen right now, but you'll see from as it dries, it definitely takes more of a pinky feel. And I did want to blend some of this black in, so as it dries, it kind of gives a little bit of a shadow effect, which works out really well. And then I'm going to hit it with the heat gun again, but I'm not going to make you watch all of that either. I did dry the backside, and then I tried to do some splatters with this, but it didn't really splatter very well. And so I'll splatter later, but I tried a couple bits. I didn't have very much water left in that either, and I didn't want to go grab more water. So had I done that, I could have had like a huge amount of water and it would have been fine. So, and then I decided that I wanted to do the inside of that spider a little bit differently. So I had thought about doing them in blue, but I'm going to do this gray, and so I put a lot of water on there, and so it does distress a little bit. You do get that fuzzy wet paper look, and then the black, and then just gonna dry it, and then literally gonna cut this out. This is the only part you're gonna see from me backing for the most part, because it does take quite a bit. So and there's enough there that I can glue but not see. So just dabbing the glue, putting this on, and spider is done. And then this I'm going to arrange so that a little more than half is on the pinky side, and then I'm just gonna use my pencil and copy this out for the outside bits so that I have an idea. I'm going to cut it out, I'm going to glue it, and then the little bits that I couldn't get close enough to, I'm doing my X-Acto knife here, and I did rip that little piece, but it will be fine, and just snip, and it is backed. So that probably took me 10 minutes to do. So 10 minutes of double time is still 5 minutes of me tracing and cutting, and yeah. All right, so that is done, and I'm mostly happy with it. Like the blending and the colors, I wish that the wet color stayed a little bit more of the color sometimes, but yeah, it's fine. It works. So then I'm gonna get the pictures down, because yep, that's what it is for now. Pictures down. Oh, I'm sorry. My brain is not wording well today. So my apologies if you find my non-wording a little annoying. So I'm gonna get this down. I am gonna use little dabs of glue along that top, but I'm not gonna make you watch all of that either, because yeah, on it goes. And then I'm gonna put the insets of the spooky in. So just a little bit of glue in the spots where I didn't quite get enough. second that I'm going to put these in, so I'm not going to make you watch this all either, because it's literally me pulling these little square bits off and just lining it up into the file. So, and it is. So there's the spooky, and that's not quite straight, so I just wanted to make sure it was with the flippy flap up, and then all those silly little white things are everywhere. That's doing a little bit of glue on the end pieces of the spider web. And that works well. And that folder that you've seen for a brief second is all of my Halloween stuff. So I did pull out a few things that I thought maybe I would use. This is a little bit of washi with witches' hats on it. So my youngest was definitely not a witch this year, but it's Halloween, so yeah, whatever. And then that corner is torn, so a little bit more distress. And I'm going to put a little bit on this side too, but I'm not going to go underneath the cut file on the other bits. Had I planned this out a little bit differently, I probably would have, but that's okay. I was thinking, can I get it under? And it's just not worth it for me today, so I gotta fought with it. And then I have these sprinkly bits, and so there's spider webs and skulls. So I'm going to do a couple spider webs on each side of the title and a skull on each side of the title. And it adds a little bit of shine and kind of bookends the title. And then I'm going to get that glued on. So it just takes a little dab of Nuvo. And I could have done this a little bit easier and done the other spider web first, but I did not. So it is what it is. And then this side, working smarter on this side and dabbing it, and there we go. And then just a little dab on the paper for the skull, and I just wanted it to overlap the washi just a little bit. And I'm going to scratch off some of the glue off the face of that one because I left it really gunky. And then the last bit here is I wanted to put some splatter on. So I tried with my ink pad. This is our archival ink with some water. And this maybe splattered, but because of what the background's like, you really couldn't see it, which is fine, but it just wasn't working the way I wanted it to. So I tried some more water and not very noticeable. So I'm going to use this Glimmer Mist from eons ago, and it's called like something like, it has pink in the name, but it's got more vibrant of a feel to it, so I used it. I do have a Distressed Oxide in Lumberbrick Red that I could have used too, but I wanted the sparkle, so Glimmer Mist it is. So I did a whole bunch of this, and then I grabbed my charcoal from Glimmer Mist and made a mess. That's okay. And gonna do the charcoal, which again, you don't see a lot of it on the background because of the way that the paper actually is a bit distressed that way already, but it does add a little bit of sparkle. And then this Glimmer Mist is a blue one. I think it's called Midnight Blue. And so it adds a little bit of a blue sparkle in the background, and I think that ties some of those colors in from the background to the foreground, which is good. Yay. Just gonna tidy up just a little bit while this dries for a second. And very carefully pull the plastic pieces off of the pictures and wipe them down. I use these over and over again, so. And then there's just a little dot up higher that I'm going to get rid of with the wet wipe, because I figured it was just a little too high on that one. It was distracting, but the rest of them are okay. And so here it is up close. There'll be some still shots to follow too. That's how that Y works, which I'm happy with. And yay, I did slice the bottom off a little bit too. So there you can see some of that splatter on both parts and the blending that I did. The cut file. You can see a bit of the distress on the pictures there too. And the spider. And my goofballs. And there's the page. Thank you so much for watching today. If you liked my video, please give me a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, I would love to have you subscribe. And thanks for watching. Have a great day.